Like the block, the cylinder heads should be disassembled, cleaned, inspected for cracks, and pressure tested for leaks. Check and assemble the heads in the following way. Check the cylinder head deck surface for warpage and fretting wear. If warpage or fretting wear exceeds specifications, the heads must be resurfaced. If the heads have been resurfaced, measure their heights to be sure they are within the minimum service height specification. If not, replace the heads. Resurfaced heads must have new fire ring grooves cut in them. Use the special tools to cut new grooves in the head. Remove all the valve seat inserts by grinding a groove in each insert and pulling it out using the proper special tools. Then have the counter bores machined to accept oversized valve seat inserts. Install new inserts by driving them in using the appropriate installer. The insert can then be ground to the proper seat angle. Remove all the valve guides by pressing them out with the proper removing tool. To install new ones, first lightly lubricate them. Then press them into the head using the proper installer. A guide is properly installed when its height above the spring seat meets specifications. Ream the valve guide to the proper dimension and check the concentricity of the guide to the insert. Loose or leaking injection nozzle holders, as shown on this cutaway, must be removed and replaced. To remove a holder, tap its inside diameter with a 3/4 10 tap. Then install the holder puller attachment on a slide hammer and thread the assembly into the holder. Use the slide hammer to pull the holder out of the head. Be sure to clean the nozzle area thoroughly after the holder has been removed. To install a holder, apply Loctite to these 3 areas of the holder. Then drive it into the head using the proper installer. Excessively worn valve yoke guide pins must also be replaced. Remove them using the proper extractor tools and install them using the proper driver. Install any of the core plugs that were removed. Apply some sealant to the pipe plugs before installing and torquing them. These plugs must not extend beyond the machine surface of the head. Carefully inspect the intake and exhaust valves for straightness and excessive wear. Replace any bent or excessively worn valves. Measure the valve stem diameter. If out of specification, replace the valve. Regrind all the valves to the proper angle. If grinding causes the valve margin width to fall below specs on any valve, replace it. Check the valve to seat contact using Prussian blue. Apply the marking compound to the face of the valve at 4 points, each 90 degrees apart. Install the valve in its seat and rotate it no more than 1/4 turn. If the seat insert shows a full contact pattern, the valve and seat will seal properly. With the valves in place in the head, check the protrusion of the inlet valves and the depth of the exhaust valves. If the dimension on a valve doesn't meet specs, regrind the valve or seat or replace the valve. Inspect the valve springs for cracks, roughness, or grooving, particularly on the inside surfaces of the coils. Also check the spring force and length on the proper tester. If the force or length is not to specification, or any spring is cracked, rough, or grooved, replace the faulty valve spring. Lubricate the valve stems and install the valves in their original locations. Intake valves have 1 stem groove, while exhaust valves have 2. Complete the installation of each valve as follows. Place the valve rotator on the spring seat in the head. Then put the spring and the spring cap in place. Compress the spring and install the locks. Place new cylinder head gaskets on the engine block deck and install the fire rings. Make sure the side of the gasket marked top faces up. Place the cylinder heads on the engine and loosely install the head bolts in the correct positions. Use a straight edge against the exhaust mounting surfaces to align the heads. Then torque the bolts in 3 stages following the proper sequence. Lubricate both ends of the push rods with engine oil and install them in their original positions in the block. Make sure the rods seat in the valve lifter sockets. Also lubricate the valve yoke guide pins and install the yokes in their original gasket.